That's right, I sure did.
I saw it like 6 months ago. I saw it on one of the.
Well, this has been
Can
to
you get him to get the city to repent? You don't want to.
I don't know. I'd like to get him to get the city to repent. We got a trailer park preacher, Craig. Craig does a JCI show on Thursday nights at 8 o'clock. Because I thought I missed it last Thursday.
My daughter produces
all right, hello.
on Tuesday.
All right.
On Tuesday, yeah. Well, we can still plug Craig's show because JCI has a good show. Comes on Thursday, 8 o'clock. So don't rush home at 7 because there's no need to hurry. Come on and say hello.
All right.
We were just talking about maybe we can get Craig to get the city to repent. You guys come on and say, get in a picture somehow
All right. Well,
because the city needs to repent. But go ahead.
well, they do after reading this about what they did to you is they do need to repent. Which I just wanted to. We have a program on Thursday nights. 8 o'clock, Channel 11, JCI Live. We're in our 8th season, talking about, we share local events, world news, and ministries. And that's our heart is ministries. And then we, Tuesday nights, Governor Prayer's Breakfast is on tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. And my daughter's producing that, and it's a good program too, in the National Day of Prayer.
We appreciate all you're doing out there. Mr. Del Rio is our guest tonight. And we're here because we were just talking, we need the city to repent because the city's been kind of jingling here pretty good. Can I say that on the air? I think I can say that. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So they've been jingling pretty good. $90,000 they wanted to pay.
And
Some of the details better than I do.
well, Mr. Del Rio has a home on Canterbury
Which is in East Austin.
in East Austin, and he got awakened to a Castafo attack, if you will, by the city of Austin and the code enforcement that we all know just went zealous on his property and just overreacted big time. So now the city put him out on the street. Now he can't even go back to his home.
He's been into forever.
That's right.
We could mention that he's 72 now, or he was 2 years ago.
I'm 72 now.
So you were like 70 years old when they did all this to you.
I'm 70, yeah.
Yeah, and this is just an unfortunate but very common practice that code enforcement does. Code
Chris, hold on a minute.
enforcement is supposed to be preventive.
10-4.
Okay, code enforcement is supposed to, if they drive around and they see a violation, they're supposed, sir, ma'am, would you take care of this? If not, But in this case, there was no. It was totally the opposite.
When I got my wife out of the control room, it does. This has all the hallmarkings of they wanted to take his property.
Yes.
And
Well,
me and
talking
my
about
wife.
Joe Capano.
Yeah, and my wife had worked on this one guy's house. He was another elderly veteran, and he was gotten set in his ways.
And
where
he
was that?
also
Right on
had
51st.
something underneath his house, but his house was pretty much condemned because it really wasn't.
It really was in
shape.
bad shape,
But we built him a new cabana where the old house used to be. But
With Mike Hansen and all,
Mike Hansen and that. 13
that-
days from start to finish, he had a new home.
yeah, and that is clear. It was right by not far from Mueller Airport, and the property values were going up and up at the time.
Yeah. Well, around Canterbury, Willow,
It's the same thing.
all those, there are many homes in that neighborhood where a shelter or a bomb shelter, not a bomb shelter, what do you call it?
Fallout shelter.
Fallout shelters are there in many homes. I know one on Haskell where, there's one down there, So, again, like Mr. Del Rio says, he probably, the city probably wants the property, wants to make money off of it, but it was a very, very clear violation of his rights, his property rights, and to even have the city come around and put a fence, a 10-foot fence around your property is very intimidating, and but that's pretty much where it all began. And I guess Mr. Del Rio can now speak to us and let us know his experience that he went through during this ordeal.
Okay, prior to that, I have a telephone and I have an answering machine. And I'd get home and I'd have just oodles and oodles of messages from people that says, I buy houses, I want your house, I pay closing calls, and costs. And then I would get postcards or pamphlets in my fence stating that they want to buy my house. It's just constantly.
You was there?
Okay, thank you. And then after the start, simply stated, I put air conditioning, central air and heat in my house. And I use the entrance to the fallout shelter to put the plenum, the furnace, and all the ductwork going up into the attic. And needless to say, I had to find me another entrance. So I went around to the driveway where I parked my car, and I made me like a hallway up to the wall. And then I cut me a hole like a doorway to be able to go in and out. And then,
I believe we have pictures of all that coming up in just a minute.
yeah. And then that should have been the end of it there. But my house is sitting on cedar posts. My house, incidentally, was built in 1944. My parents had it built for them during the war years. And my cedar posts were needing replacing. So I started doing that. I'm pretty well familiar with working with metal and wood and all that. At the time, I guess it was in the early 1980s, I was still working for the state, and I worked in the plumbing shop and in the welding shop. And I put all my beams, I used car rims for the plates for the bottom of my beams. And then before I knew it, I did the whole house. I replaced every cedar post with steel beams. And then I just kept on going. I said, well, it's a good idea to have the whole house done like this. And about 3/4 of the house from where I dug, I used double brick wall to separate the ground from the inside. So it wasn't just the beams holding the structure up, it was the walls that I had up there. And that at the lowest point of where the digging was, when it rained a lot, that retained water and it made it deeper. Okay, they exaggerated the depth of that deepest place. What I dug out was 8 foot from the ceiling to where you're standing. And the end where the deepest place was another 8 foot. But then one corner of it, I made it deeper because I was going to stick a sump pump in that one right there. But since I had that extra space there, I put a stairway going down. And all my life, I've loved working with tools. And I've got a lot of old tools that I consider antiques. People don't see no more. And I thought I'd use that second level as an old tool museum. I would put me at a table and just have a display across it. And y'all may not be close to my age, but I've got soldering irons.
A couple of decades away. But
Okay. Well, you have to stick in the fire to heat it up.
Okay.
And I also got crankshafts where you would start old cars with a crankshaft and the other end would be a lug wrench. And then I had old hammers such as that, which I'd say, there's a lot of people alive right now that's never seen these things. And when I've got, everybody's familiar with power drills, but very few people know what an egg beater type bit is, where you turn the handle, drill a hole. I got a couple of them. And I also had an old toilet, cast iron, porcelain plated, and the tank goes upside.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it was stamped under there, 18-something, and I was going to have that as part of the display. Now, when they filled it in, they either took that old toilet with them or they covered it up. 'Cause I couldn't find it no more. Then I had other pieces of pipe, made of lead pipe. Some of them were conduit, where they would run electrical wire to it, or some of them that would be in for drainage. And I just had different cuts of sections where I could lay on the table and people could see it, and they would know what it was.
What about, they also mentioned that you had guns and that there were grenades.
Well, hold on. We're
Okay.
going to get to all this. I want to get to the
All right.
timeline. I mean,
All right.
the SWAT team came over and all that. But first, I think we're going to show this film
Okay.
real quick. And then we'll go into just that morning. They knocked
Yeah,
on your
that
door.
morning.
And we'll go from there. Can we play
Okay.
that film? 1 minute. So, yeah, they knocked on your door. You in your underwear. You said, hold on, put on your pants.
Yeah, well, I first I asked, who is it? And he announced himself, code enforcement. I don't know if I should say his name or not, but
Go ahead.
it was Robert on the code enforcement. He's the guy that came
Alvarado.
Alvarado a few days before with a building inspector. And they left, didn't say nothing. And then he woke me up that Saturday morning. And I said, well, just a minute, let me put my clothes on. I put my pants on and opened the door. And when I did, he moved out of the way, and I was rushed by the police. And they
You
had
mean SWAT team or uniformed cops, or were they all dressed up in their SWAT gear?
no,
Oh,
these
okay, let's
police,
watch this film, then we'll come right back to,
right there where the door is,
Yes,
was
sir.
the entrance to the basement. And that's where I put up my central air system.
Basement is the word I was looking for.
Okay.
There are many homes in this neighborhood that have basements. In this neighborhood, particular
Right.
neighborhood.
all right, hit play.
And this is a stairway going down, and I put central air and heat in my house, and I had to have a place to put it. The only logical place I could find was the stairway. I put a floor on it, put the furnace, the plenum, and all the ductwork going into the attic. So needless to say, I blocked the way going down into the bomb shelter. So I had to find me another entrance. So what you were looking at just now was the entrance that I put in to go into it. It was Saturday morning, and there was a knock on the door. I got up and I went to the door and I shouted, "Who is it?" And he answered, "Robert Alvarado, code enforcement." I said, "Just a minute, let me get my pants on." I put my pants on and I opened the door. Then he moved out of the way, and I was rushed by policemen with a search warrant to search the premises. And they didn't go into detail. They told me to hurry up and get dressed, and they took me to Met School. They were using that as a headquarters or something, command post. And they kept me all day while they searched everything, and everything I had in the basement I took out and threw in the yard. These are the two barrels that instigated the bomb squad to come over here because they thought they were full of explosives. They asked me what it was, and I said, "There's nothing in there, I just using it for scrabble." And they acted like they didn't believe me. They had fire engines blocking off each end of the street. They moved, what I understood, I was at the school, so I didn't know what was going on, but I was told that they moved out all the neighbors from across the street on the same side from the block, out of the houses. And they came in and they searched everything thoroughly. And I had some guns in the house, which they belonged to me legally. They took them, and they took them to forensics. They weren't stolen, and they weren't used in the crime, so they had to give them back to me.
When did they fill it up with cement?
I think it was like, this was on a Saturday. It could have been the following Monday or Tuesday, something to the like. They didn't let me return to my house. I put an 8-foot fence all around my house. And while I was gone, they did that. It came out in the paper, that they had these trucks and all that coming in, and they filled up everything. Like 91,000. They want to charge me for it. My lawyer said it's time to file suit against the city and let everybody know what's been going on. Like, in my opinion, they wanted my property to start with, and this was a way to take my property away from me.
The concrete trucks ain't cheap.
Nope.
Bomb squad blocked off? Man, you some kind of dangerous character for a 70-year-old man. I mean, to tell you, good thing you didn't get tased.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't tase you.
Okay, but in the papers, they kept referring to that the guns were under the house, and the place where I dug, it wasn't so. They were inside the house. And another thing that happened 2 years ago, and for the past 2 years, I have been trying to solve the problem. I wrote to every member of the city council, plus the mayor, and nobody ever responded. I went in person to Mike Martinez's office,
Uh-oh.
and I spoke to his aide,
Uh-oh.
and he took notes and said he would get back to me. He never did. I told my lawyer this. He called his aide, and his aide verified that I went to talk to him. But other than that, I don't know what they discussed. But as far as I can tell, nothing came of it.
It'd be hard to find a house and doesn't have a gun in it of some kind. They filled up your basement with concrete,
Yeah.
all them concrete, and they want to charge you for it. They put a big fence up around your house,
They want to charge me for that, too?
evacuated all your neighbors, brought in fire trucks, probably had cops everywhere.
And he has a license to carry a gun, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a concealed carry.
So,
This doesn't make any sense. They
Well,
want to
what-
charge you $90,000.
well, what even alarms me is that this was done on a Saturday. I didn't think code enforcement worked on Saturdays.
Well, there was overtime, you know, and
you see that
the
machine
SWAT
right there?
team and the
That's
boss
about that,
fight, yeah.
That's that machine they just had showed. That's a couple $100 an hour.
So as of to date, they don't allow you to go back into your home?
Oh, no, through the efforts of my attorney, McRae Hernandez, he had them take the fence down. Okay, they rekeyed all the keys, all the locks to my door. I got the keys back, but I don't have any utilities, no electricity, no water, no gas. I can go and come.
Where'd you
I
stay that
cleaned out
Saturday
the
night?
yard. I had to find me a motel. See,
You had to stay there for how long?
about a month.
Between Saturday and the time you finally got to go home, how long
Yeah.
was that?
Well, I mean, I can go home and work on the house, but I can't stay there because I don't have any utilities.
They threw all your junk out and all your stuff out in the
Yeah.
in the yard.
Yeah, but see, what they told me is not to worry about a thing. It looked like I wasn't going to be going back for a while, but
Don't worry,
they would tell me, we'll find you a place to stay, even though we have to check you into a Motel 6, and then we'll pick up the bill. But when it was time for them to leave, they told me I was on my own,
Oh, my God.
and that's the way it came out.
You got a pretty good lawyer, I guess, huh?
I hope so.
Yeah, that sounds like lawsuit city here. I mean,
Yeah,
And this happened in the U.S. of A., country of the free.
yeah,
it happened in the USS Austin.
Yeah.
USS Austin.
yeah. And what I'm hoping is that some higher governmental institution other than the city would look into it, the way they operate. I believe they're doing things that are criminal, and they should be tried and convicted for what's going on.
I couldn't tell what rank you were the other day when you had your uniform on. That was captain's bars?
Yeah.
You was a captain?
No, there was a guard uniform. He told me,
National Guard?
or he passed a word that I had to be in uniform, and I ran back to Canterbury, and that was something I had to throw together right there. You know,
Still, you're a captain in the National Guard.
For 3 years, I
Can you
was.
talk about your military experience?
Up until the time that I did things that were
When you
classified.
enlisted and...
You did classified stuff too?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. See, I've got, well, I think I still got it. It's a top secret clearance with the
We won't
FBI.
go there then.
Yeah,
No,
no,
that's
no,
not
no.
it.
Okay.
But you have served honorably.
Yeah.
And he has
And then
a
you were-
dishonorable
And
discharge?
when I did 34 years, good time, and I got a letter from President Bush 1 and a certificate from him congratulating me and thanking me for the time.
And
I
then you
put
went
in.
to work for the city,
And
joined
you-
the city council,
Yeah,
and then they busted your ass on Saturday morning while you was in your underwear.
yeah,
And kicked the door in, come on in, and threw your butt in the cheap motel, and fill up your basement full of concrete, threw all your
And
stuff out the
what-
street.
What got me, I had bought recently a $1,500 refrigerator, one of them stainless steel one with
Ooh,
two
that's
doors,
nice,
something like
yeah.
that you can get water and ice from the door.
Oh, we can't talk about how much a refrigerator cost.
Oh, no, but I just want to let you know, we just had a caller call in, she didn't want to go on the air, but she says she sympathizes with you, she says you seem to be a very kind, sincere man, and that her heart goes out to you, and that she hopes that everything goes well for you. And her other question was, do you have family here?
Come here and talk to the mic. You have family?
I've got cousins.
Cousins? But anyway, she's supporting you, and she says she hopes everything goes well for you.
Okay, thank you. Oh, I didn't know that y'all get calls, you know. And,
She didn't want to
Sometimes.
come in on the air, but she just wanted me to forward the message to you, so
Okay.
there you go.
But what I want to really point out is, for the past 2 years, I've been trying to get code enforcement, and they call it the Holly Street Project, or the good
Highly Good Neighbor Program.
Yeah, that people
You're
in
in
the
that
area.
neighborhood, that's
Yes,
what
he's in that
I've
neighborhood.
been trying for 2 years to communicate with them, and it's been impossible.
He's eligible for $15,000 as a grant to repair his home like everybody else in the neighborhood, up to $50,000. That's up to date. I referred Mr. Del Rio to Austin Housing Finance
Yeah, you
Corporation.
know all about that.
Yes.
Well, now that they done
Yes.
tore his house all up, it'll
Yeah.
probably take a lot more than that.
Well, it definitely
You can see where
can.
the meters are going right there. Yeah.
What, pull it back up now? Yeah, if they filled your basement full of concrete, looks like somebody went crazy on your meter.
Yeah.
But, you know, this is one of the worst case of
Property abuse,
government
Citizen
intrusion.
abuse.
Talking about land grab, abuse and misuse of a government. And these are the type of things that we as a people cannot allow a government to do.
Yeah.
Because today was Mr. Del Rio, tomorrow it could be.
Yesterday it was Mr. Capano.
Yeah.
Today Mr. They seem to pick on older veterans like that.
Yep.
Mr. Capano was a distinguished veteran from the nuclear test projects. He did a lot of work there. Yeah, the one that me and my wife will tell you about, we helped. They wanted his house. This was years ago.
So where do you live now?
Joe Campana,
Joe
you mean,
Campana.
yeah. Alex Jones helping build.
Yeah, Alex
I
Jones,
remember
Mike
that.
Hanson, we were all out there.
Yeah, Oh, you were out there too?
Oh, yeah, we got-
I remember that. That was about the time I used to see your program.
Oh,
I was
really?
working nights, I'd get up and get dressed, and I'd.
So where are you living now?
I had to buy a condo in South Austin.
That's pretty sad. You went from a lifelong home
Yeah.
that you're fixing up real nice. That looks like a mess. That looks
Okay,
like,
that right there, I don't recognize. All that wood and stuff, I think it's something they put up, like a retaining wall to hold concrete or something. Like a farm. Because I don't recognize it as being my work.
no.
And
that
then
is,
after they put that 8-foot fence in to keep people out, see, there it is right there. They broke into my house, they stole all my power tools and a bunch of my tools. And they left, the city attorney, I believe, notified my lawyer of the break-in. We went
I
down
can't
there.
tell what all that is.
Okay, that's a hole, and those are just covers, covering the hole. That, I started it out to be a handicap ramp for my mother, but needless to say, she died in '09, so, I couldn't finish it.
This is, stuff happens, huh?
Yeah. But,
The city of Austin has yet to be served with a lawsuit from Mr. Del Rio. However, actions taken by the city in 2006 at 2006 Canterbury Street were done due to a public safety risk caused by the structure located on the property. You've already told us, and this guy back here says a Round Rock structural engineer Jeffrey Tucker. It appeared it was structurally safe, Tucker said Monday. I did not see anything that indicated it would fall in.
see, my first lawyer said that the city wanted to demolish my house, and they wasn't going to give me a chance to have an engineer other from the city. And we got him, and he went down there, and then I was told, I've got a cousin that used to be a structural engineer for the city.
Well,
And my
yeah,
cousin
fence
said
all in. Well, I
that-
see, that's your regular fence there, you guys standing by,
Uh-huh.
and they put the big tall trees.
I wonder what was the purpose of the 10-foot fence?
Good question.
To charge me more money, I guess. But
Yeah.
anyway, I had a break-in at my house,
Okay.
and the city did not repair the break-in. They told my lawyer that it was my responsibility to fix it, because if I didn't, they would charge me, and it was under their watch. I couldn't even go to the house. I was barred from going to my own house. I started going to my house after my current lawyer had them take down the fence and give me the keys to the house. And I started going and I cleaned up the whole yard. My backyard looked like a salvage yard, the way they left it, And
I know they do have a bad habit of doing that, especially They're not talking too bad about the cops or anything, but when they bust like some of these people, they just throw everything out in the yard. Then they
Oh,
go
yeah.
off to grab donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, once they entertain a raid or under suspicion or whatever, they'll go in there and they'll tear up your house, and if they find nothing, hey, good luck, we'll see
Good
you.
luck, man.
Take care, you know,
Yeah.
you put it up. You know. But I guess one of the important messages here is that we the people should not condone this type of government behavior.
Well,
And-
what are we going to do about it? We had, what, 8% turnout for the last election?
The way I understand it, is it a government of the people, for the people, by the people? That's the way I understood it.
No.
And when I put on the uniform, I thought that was what I was going to defend. And it looks like something went terribly wrong somewhere.
Yeah, we got 8% turnout for the city election.
But
I don't know what else to say.
anyway, that's why I'm here. I want the public to know about it, because next time it can happen to you.
It's probably happened already to a lot of people besides you and Mr. Campana.
Yeah.
That we just simply don't know about because they do also, they seem to pick elderly people
Yeah.
and people without much of a family. Mr. Campana had nobody. And you've
Yeah.
got a couple of cousins.
Yeah, I've got some
And that's it?
cousins,
And you know, again, the whole purpose in the creation of code enforcement was to be preventive. Again, they see a violation, they come by, they're supposed to inform you that this is a violation and you have so many days to take care of it. Not to view the violation and go call APD and the bomb squad and SWAT team and everything and wake you up in the morning and serve you with a warrant.
Yeah.
You know.
Saturday morning, we get the underwear.
See, that came from code enforcement, you know.
I'm curious who signed that warrant. What judge signed that
Good
warrant?
idea. I wonder who
Oh,
won.
and another thing, that guy, Toots from the radio show, he said the warrant was generalized and not specific to one certain thing. that
Yeah,
you're
that's
looking
one they
for.
have now, just a generalized warrant. Now we sign this, they blindly sign it.
But a judge has to have signed that warrant. Do we know who that judge was that signed the warrant?
My
Someone?
lawyer
No.
may have a
Oh,
copy of
okay.
the warrant, I don't know.
Okay, because must be in a municipal judge.
I like this part here. Del Rio's description of his. Oh, you got a phone call. Go ahead.
Maybe that's the White House calling, wanting to find
Hello?
out.
No, maybe the governor, but not the one.
Hello? I guess I hung up.
Del
What's
Rio's,
that mean?
7-4.
Del Rio's description of his questioning by police and city officials in May of 2010 suggests that they thought they might have another Unabomber on their hands. They questioned why he was shirtless and his hair was messed up. Oh, I see. You look like the Unabomber in your underwear and your no shirt and the hair messed up.
Well, see, when they had me in med school, you know, I kept doing this, you
They were
know.
using Met School as a staging area, I
Command
guess.
post. Command
Yeah,
post.
they had a Winnebago at med school, and, okay, I wasn't the school itself, but it was their command post, and they sat there running all day long, you know. I hate to think how much gas they use, you know, just sitting.
That's a lot of money they spend.
Yeah,
And you just brought up something right here in the studio. We have somebody who works here, Stephon Ray, I think it was. And he's at the city one time, this was years ago, and he said, what came first, the ride or the ride gear?
yeah.
You know, they buy stuff like that command post. I've seen it. You have to use it. Driving out to Met Elementary and they go bust you in a Saturday morning the other way because you got some barrels and some.
So during
Hold on.
Okay.
They questioned why he was shirtless and hair messed up. His response was that he had been awakened at 7 a.m. on Saturday. 70-year-old man woken at 7 a.m. on Saturday. What the hell do you expect? I mean, what the heck? Hold on, one more sentence. City crews also found military memorabilia, inoperable hand grenades, and a collection of about a dozen firearms in the home. Thank you, sir. Like you have a dozen homes in a firearm. Go ahead. I mean, dozen firearms in the home.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let me get back to my refrigerator.
Go ahead.
It was full of food. I took the electric meter, so you can imagine what happened there. And I told my first lawyer, is there any way we could get maybe the health department to go and empty the refrigerator? And they said, well, I hate to tell you, but they say that you can't enter your health because it may fall down on them and stuff like that. So everything in the where the break-in occurred, they tried to steal the refrigerator and they couldn't. They got it stuck in the doorway and it was just full of maggots from all the food
That's
that was
probably going to
left
say
in
they
there.
probably smelled it and decided they didn't want it.
And
Yeah.
you know, I've seen drug busts, and they don't treat them as worse as this gentleman was, you know. And I think you mentioned that they had come 2 days before.
Yep, during about the middle of the week, about
Okay,
a
they
Wednesday.
came during the, let's say they came out on Wednesday. Why couldn't they have done this on Friday? You know, the whole tactic, the whole strategy of going in on Saturday morning, it's like attacking at dawn.
Yeah, well, that's what drug busts usually made at what, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning,
Right.
4 o'clock in the morning. That's when they like to make the drug bust. And so I guess they figured you was an old man, they just kick you up at about 7 a.m. And then say you look like the Unity bomber because your hair's all messed up.
And the other thing is that code enforcement already, when they went, they talked to you when they went out there the first time.
Well, you mean when they went to inspect under the
Yeah.
house? Yeah. Yeah, I let
So
them
they-
in. I let
but
them
they
see
knew who
everything
you
they
were.
wanted. Yeah, I let them see everything they wanted to see.
And
I
then,
wasn't trying to cover
Saturday
nothing.
they came in with a search warrant. So see, they knew who he was.
Yeah, they were looking for you, all right. This is bad. This is kind of really sad. Del Rio's lawyer Monday produced documents stating that Del Rio was a military veteran with a high security clearance, who later worked as a part-time security guard for the Austin City Council. Quote, he guarded the council 22 years, and now nobody's guarding his rights, unquote, lawyer Mac Ray Hernandez said. Quote, they jumped to a conclusion, unquote, said his co-counsel Leo McCrary. Quote, this is a hell of a lot of trouble. This is a hell of a lot of trouble, and ANGST must be the against they've caused our client. Oh,
And we understand
Yeah,
that
that's
yeah.
we understand that the code enforcement in Alvarado got a promotion out of this.
Yeah, he
Kidding
did.
me.
That's what my first lawyer said, that he got promoted right after that.
Well, you know, it was always my idea that you don't want to treat people that are like nothing perfect, 70 years old. You don't want to treat them like that.
But see, like
That can be kind of traumatic or something, you
I
know?
can, in a way, I can see they didn't know who he was, so they came and did this Saturday. But they met him. They met him on Wednesday. They
Yeah,
saw who he was.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, it was set up and planned, okay?
Yeah, they brought that.
Yeah, but see,
Command wagon out.
a policeman, even in the car, can run a background check right on you
Yeah.
and get that information right quick, who you are, if you got outstanding warrants or such as that. And I've never committed a crime.
I was
you know,
gonna say.
so that had to come out on their checklist.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
So when they took you to Mets, was it on your own, or did they handcuff you?
They handcuffed me at
Oh.
my house, yeah.
Behind the back, I guess, put you in a police car, and took you to their little mobile, their RV unit. For command unit.
Well, no, they took me inside the school.
Oh.
Their RV unit was their little thing that they would go in there and do their thing, you know.
You know, we laugh because they did that, but that's sad.
It's really,
That is very sad.
it can be upsetting.
They
They
go
spent
to
how
that.
much money on all this?
They go $90,000 plus staff.
Plus staff. Well, I mean, like they got that RV command unit. I've seen it before. We got pictures of what's called the Batmobile. That where they for the DWI thing, and you know down there on the show we had the guy Bueller on. He got busted by this guy. He had made 300 DWI arrests in 1 year. This is kind of. What's he do? Hang outside a bar every night? The freedom are losing. And now, Mr. Del Rio is another example of it.
Yeah, I want to keep publicizing it, letting the people know that this is going on now. And if nobody says anything, it's going to get worse. You're going to keep on losing your
You
freedom.
have a lawyer, you'll be going to court. I presume.
Yeah,
I would appreciate if you let us know.
okay. Yeah,
what
he'll
the
probably
date
stay,
is.
Well, one of the things
covering
that we're wanting to do, and this is one of the first, other than the media, electronic media, but this is one of the first shows that he has come on, the Trailer Park Show, and our agenda is to make it a worldwide issue. so people can see the way they treat U.S. citizens who live in a democracy, you know, and clearly let people know that Austin is not the music capital of the world that everybody paints out there.
Yes.
Remember, I don't know if you remember in the city where they used that old logo, you say your friendly city, remember?
That's been decades ago.
Remember
yeah.
when they took
Yeah.
Now it's what? Keep Austin weird? Well, this one, it was really weird.
Yeah, and they're making it hard to even be a friendly. I mean, 6th Street's not very user-friendly anymore.
Absolutely not. You know, we were growing up, I always say this, that on 6th Street, there used to be a lot of taverns.
Yeah.
But those taverns were African-American taverns or Mexican-American taverns. Okay? So the downtown people, merchants started complaining that they were being, you know, it was Blum and
Riff
Sprite
raff,
and all this other stuff. Well, today, you still have drunks, but they're student drunks, you know, and you have APD babysitting student drunks.
So Witch and I, they go out and wrestle these drunks at 2 o'clock.
So they didn't alleviate the problem. You still have drunks, you know, but it just goes to show how the perception is and how it can be very, very misleading.
Well, this isn't a very good deal for the city to have this kind of thing going on. I would think if they have code enforcement problems, I mean, a 70-year-old man is not a Unabomber, and if he's got a couple of old military rifles around, well, the guy did. How hard could it be to find out he's a lifer, you know?
Not only that, even after the interrogation that he went through,
Oh, that's right,
I'm still trying to figure out what caused him to put a fence around his home.
Hold on. We're at Metz Middle School, and they dragged your ass in there. Did they let you get dressed beyond pants?
Well, they took me outside in handcuffs. And
before
they put me in the car, they said he's got to have a I was in my shower shoes, you know, and they just brought me just a pair of them slip-ons, and they had to cuff me so I can put a shirt on. And there were 2 females there in street clothes. One was a peace officer.
Street clothes?
Well, I
Plain
mean,
clothes.
they weren't in
Plain clothes.
yeah, they were plain clothes.
Yeah.
And one of them said she was a police psychiatrist, you know, and I don't know which was which, but they said, don't put, you know.
Was that
when
for
they
you
got
or
me-
for the code enforcement?
Well, I talked a little bit with her, and she, I guess to sort of psychoanalyze me, see what was going through my mind, but the cop that handcuffed me was the one that asked me more questions. You know, I kept doing this, and he said, well, are you anti-establishment? Why? Well, you know, your hair's uncombed and all that. I said, well, when I get up in the morning, I usually go to the shower right away, and I put some gel in my hair and comb it, but I didn't get a chance today, you know. I kept explaining all the reasons, but they kept wanting me to say, yes, I'm anti-establishment, I'm against this and that and all of that, and they didn't get that out of me.
And this went on for 10 hours
Well,
At Metz?
at med school.
I don't know what.
How long?
Yeah, they took me there. I guess
Early
it was
in the
about
morning.
7, or so. And when they got ready to go home, they cut me loose. They told me, "You're on your own." I said, "Well, what about when you say you're going to help me find something?" No, you're on your own.
And you couldn't go back to your house.
What they did, they just threw a bunch of clothes and shoes and stuff like that in my car. My medication was all mixed up in there. Well, I take an insulin shot in the morning and in the evening before I go to bed. And I told them, well, I need my insulin shot. They called EMS to come down there and give me an insulin shot outside, you know.
So during the let me ask you this because I'm real curious. During the questioning, besides the 2 things you mentioned, what was the kind of questions they were asking you?
Yeah, that's good.
They were more concerned with me having booby traps. And they were over there looking for stuff that they would step in a booby trap and something happened to them. They were more concerned with it than anything else. And for some reason, they couldn't believe that them 255-gallon metal drums that I had were empty.
Did they just shake them to see if there was anything?
Well,
else?
they threw them outside, but, you know, other than that, I don't know.
Probably once they figured out, once they brought their their $1 million equipment in there that, you know, their little crawler, the bomb squad.
One
stuff.
of them told me that we could always bring our, I guess it was like a little machine. He called it
machine.
something, yeah.
The machine.
Yeah, little machine,
With little
drill
arms, you
hole, drills
know,
holes
and take it out there. So, well, you can do what you want to, but there's nothing in it. I put one right here and put one right here, lay a plank on it, and I use it for scaffolding. And that's to, you know, and that's all I've ever used it for.
Not
That's
uncommon,
all-
And how long did it take them before they realized that, we made a
Nothing
mistake?
going on.
Well, I don't know. See,
They wouldn't
they
admit
didn't
that.
let me go back to the house no more. They told me, you can't go back. You got to leave and go somewhere.
And they filled it in with concrete.
Well, you know, not that weekend they did. You know, I hired a lawyer as soon as I could, and my lawyer was supposed to put an injunction and stop them from doing it, but they done it anyway. Okay, the time lapse between my first lawyer and my second lawyer may not link up, but my lawyer now is talking about meeting with my first lawyer and see what information he can get that he doesn't know about yet, maybe.
This is this is really a sad story. All right.
But my biggest problem is why would code enforcement, what they call it, good neighbor policy, would not cooperate, period. You know, they kept stalling me, and my records to my property were not correct. They kept insisting that my house was built in 1927. My lawyer has proof and evidence that it was built in 1944. Also, that my parents were the original owners and nobody else was involved. And they come up with a different set of information. Somebody has been misfiling their system regarding their property on purpose to delay the process. That's all I got to say.
It sounds like extremely
And
unprofessional.
that's why I would like either the federal government or somebody to go in there and investigate them, the elected officials, as well as all the department heads that are running the department. I believe they will find something that's going on that's not legal. I really believe
Well, I
that.
appreciate Gavino having this high opinion of us, but we are just a trailer park, so
Well, I
we
mean,
hardly go beyond
yeah,
lost in
yeah.
here.
You let me
This could
say
be a
my
beginning.
piece.
This could be the one that shoots us
Yeah.
up there.
you let me have my say. That's
We've been
there's still
known to,
democracy so far.
Let me see, we have been known to have some city officials call up and cuss us out at times. What was his name that time? Hispanic guy that wrote the book,
they
Gus
some-
Garcia?
Are those calls there? Or?
I don't think, is that a call? Well, tell him, plug one in quick before we run out of time. Yeah, Gus Garcia, I guess, wrote the book.
Mm-hmm.
He called in and cussed us out one time. And another governor's watched us before.
Yeah.
And many city council have been on the show.
I also wrote to I wrote to John Cornyn and who's the other person? Lloyd Doggett. They didn't reply on this, and also to the governor. I have a cousin that wants me to go to the Texas Rangers, but I'm going to shy away from the Rangers.
Yeah, I wouldn't. The
Yeah.
Rangers, they like to build cases on people.
Well, I know Alvarado was a code enforcement, but there has to have been people above him that said, do it.
Yeah.
So those are the ones that are the culprits to all this, because you know, he's just a frontline employee. So someone upstairs had to have you know, he must have convinced someone to say do it, and it goes all the way up to the city manager. So I'm curious as
Yeah.
to the city manager had what role the city manager had in this.
Well, with them coming in and looking for this booby traps and bomb squad, they must have really thought you was some kind of badass dude.
Well, see,
What would
all
give you
the
this
work,
idea?
I've got oxygen acetylene tanks in my garage, and I do a lot of welding and cutting
that's
and make things. And I have a bunch of power tools, and I've been fixing and making things all my life. Is all I got to
I
say.
don't like to say too much bad about the cops. Sometimes they train the common sense right out of them.
Well,
A lot of it has to do with the damn liability they got to face.
let me bring something else up that I think I told him. I was approached by this guy. He was ex-code enforcement, he said what they're doing now is bringing in people that don't know nothing about code enforcement, but act more like policemen, and that's what the trend is. Now, that could be a lead right there. For
Yeah, he
somebody to look
probably,
into.
code enforcement probably told his captains, man, it looks like this guy.
Well, code enforcements are issued badges. I don't know if you've seen them.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I've seen
Hello?
FCC badges.
And they're
Hey, I'm on TV right now. I'm on TV.
trailer park.
I'm gonna have to shut. It's a friend of mine that lives in Mesquite. He says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm on TV right now." "Oh, you're eating?" "No, I'm on TV." So I better close it down right quick.
You can see us on the computer up there, but anyway.
Yeah.
So, Gavino,
I lost my frame without a camera.
that's his,
It's just crazy.
FCC, I've seen that, they kind of act like it too. You know, I've been busted a couple times. Before I was on TV, I was on the radio. I didn't exactly have a license. So the old lady came rushing in one day, "The FBI's outside." I just got home, I'd gone to to the little toilet there to leave something off, and I jumped up real fast. It was FCC.
Were you in communications in the Navy?
No, but I did smoke pot in the intelligence vault.
Oh, okay. It's like the guys in Vietnam. They had Remington rifles for the lead man, for the patrol guy.
Is that right?
Yeah, and what they would do, they would open the breech, stick a pipe in there, pass the shotgun around and smoke it to the
all.
barrel. How would you
Yeah,
like to
that
be
was-
in that squad?
Quality stuff, I know.
I'm still curious. I wish I could have been a fly when they were making all these decisions. The city
Yeah,
was
we're getting
to attack.
carried away into other subjects now.
It's crazy.
I don't understand some of this at all, but I suppose there is, because I know with Joe Campana's house, they said all kinds of things about him. He was a hoarder, I guess, if you
But
could call that.
he wasn't capable, of what I understand, of cleaning his own yard by himself and making repairs. He had to depend on somebody, but he didn't have any money. That's
Didn't
what I
have any
understood
real
of
money.
him.
I think
So
he's on some kind of
are you
vocation.
looking at eventually one day being able to go back to your home?
Well,
And
if they
then-
hadn't put me out, that's where I'd be.
Right, no,
Yeah.
but let's say you take care of all this, or
Yeah.
I guess my question is, are your desires to go back home where you lived all your life and
Probably. See, I had this idea. I told you about my old tool library and that I owned a bunch of tools. Okay. In my will, I left my property to my brother. He lives in California, and he's younger than me. And but I also wanted to talk to him and tell him, look, if you don't want this property, sell it either to a religious organization or to a charitable organization, and include all my tools unless you want some, so that they could train people in the technical fields or industrial fields, and they could have that old tool museum to see how they could do things in the past.
10-4.
But that's not going to happen now, you know.
We got about 10 minutes left.
Okay.
We need to make some announcements, I know.
all right, okay,
Next week's show gonna be about the parade. We got the one coming up on the 30th, but we'll also have people here from the one that's on the 7th.
on the 7th.
With the 4th of July being in the middle of the week,
Of
we're
the
gonna
week.
have a 4th of July parade on June 30th and one on July 7th. This June 30th, I really got excited about, because we need one in East Austin, and it's a good chance, as you said, at IBC Bank there on Friday. A lot of people don't understand, the Hispanic community, you get these preconceived notions, I'd call it, especially from the East Side, drugs and all this. They don't understand the good, solid family values that are represented over here. And what did I say when it was my turn about the family traditions? You've got Hispanic families over here who have people serve in the military.
Yep.
Besides Mr. Del Rio, generationally.
Yeah, and you know that in East Austin, because of the whole gentrification that's been occurring, that's one of the reasons why we wanted to have this parade go down Cesar Chavez Street to Chicon, and to be able to recognize and honor veterans that grew up in our neighborhood, and because of the gentrification, a lot of them don't live there no more. They live in South Austin. They live, around the surrounding area. So we want to invite everyone to come out on Saturday, June 30th. We're starting at 10 a.m. at the IBC Bank, and we want you to come out and join our parade, because another thing is the significance of the 4th of July. The significance of the 4th of July is very important, and we need to educate our community and our kids about the history of the 4th of July, and because nowadays many of our kids don't really know, or the whole significance of the 4th of July.
They've never heard the Declaration of Independence.
They never heard the Declaration of Independence, and it's also another opportunity, like I said, is to honor and to recognize not only the living, but also the dead.
Get this somehow or another?
The other plea we're doing is that we're looking for women veterans that served in the military and grew up in East Austin, be it at Montopolis, Gold Valley, down Central, to come out. It's a family event, and at the end of the day, at the end of the parade, we're going to be ending up at Fiesta Gardens, where Cristo Rey Catholic Church will be holding their annual bazaar, or Jamaica. So, which is that other one you have there.
And people will have booths out
And
there.
we'll have food booths, we'll have music, and Austin Energy is also agreed to have information booths. So we'll have around 21 different information booths, from the health department to government agencies, that help people. And so it's going to be a fun day of excitement and entertainment. So
Maybe even some political type activities.
we'll probably have some political. I know County Commissioner Margaret Gomez is going to be present there. Former County Commissioner Marcos de Leon will also be there. We have a girls band that's going to be playing. Remember that little girl that was there at the press conference? They have a band.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a girls band, so they'll be out there performing. And we also have the honor of having Sylvester Perez, alumni from Martin Middle School, and he'll be playing the taps at the end of the ceremony. And we have Cheryl Hamilton out there. We have Police Chief Acevedo. We have the Austin Fire Department. We'll have a fire truck going down there. As we walk down Cersa Chavez, we're hoping that neighbors will join us. Bring your skateboards, your bikes, your pets,
Walk your dog, whatever.
everybody. Just come on out.
Good family time.
It's going to be a real good time. And Mr. Del Rio and many of the Mr. Del Rio and all these veterans are the ones that we're going to be recognizing and honoring. That to include our host here, Pokey.
Oh, boy.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm not going to be walking with you. I'm going to wait
No,
for you.
we're going to.
The party stage.
At Fiesta Gardens.
Yeah.
You'll be monitoring the stage, so when we get there, everything will be in order.
Oh, okay. That's
Okay.
a good job. Me and my walking just ain't what it
Yeah.
used
Well,
to be.
we're going to have lowrider cars out there, so maybe we can get you in one of those lowriders, a convertible. And
They might have something going. I got to take oxygen right over here. Go get me.
and that's fine.
I hate to
we
make it a
can
real event when it catches fire or something.
we can accommodate y'all put your lives in sacrifice for the freedom we enjoy today. So I think it's only an obligation out of respect to honor y'all and to make all accommodations so y'all can go out there and finally be recognized by our community for all that y'all did, because many times, when you leave a home, you leave a wife, you leave children, and it's a very, very tough
I didn't
experience.
think about that. I got those pictures I took, but I didn't put them on they're
On the
computer,
press
but
conference?
I didn't send them to my wife, so we can put those up right now. Oh, damn. Well, yeah. I didn't even know what it... No, I can't get them up now. I should have... I'm
Well-
not thinking correctly here.
We can do it next week, right?
Yeah, that's right.
we
I'll
can
get
do
them
next
out for
week.
next week. Because next week we will have about this parade and the one coming on the 7th, which is a big one sponsored by City.
The city
And
sponsored
a
that
whole
one.
bunch of other stuff going on.
Ours is being sponsored by the county,
Yeah.
the Travis County, and on June the 26th, we'll be getting a proclamation from the Travis County Commissioners Court
Oh, boy.
at 9 a.m. I think the 26th is a Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, but it's going to be at 9 a.m. And I hope you can be there, Pokey, and
Yeah.
Mr. Del Rio, because Commissioner Margaret Gomez is going to give us a proclamation recognizing June 30th as Veterans Day in East Austin.
Yeah,
You know, so we'll get 4 proclamations.
I hear in there hollering about something.
Good deal.
Oh, okay.
A good deal? Yeah, I thought we were going to talk some about, my wife's dog bite cases. The dog that, anyway, we ain't got enough time for that. But there'll be more on that too.
You want to make any last comments,
Yeah, we
Mr.
got
Del Rio?
about 2.5 minutes left.
2 minutes.
Yeah, I'd like the people to really hear about this and understand it, because it is going on, and if nobody steps up and say anything, it would only get worse.
I can agree with that. And I don't want to go into too much because I know a lot of people, like me and Gavino, both worked pretty hard this last cycle on the city election. And none of our candidates seem to get elected. All the incumbents yet returned to office.
And we also got that 10-1.
10-1 has been good progress on it. This Saturday, I didn't prepare a statement for that either, but yeah, there's been good progress on it.
I think there's over 24,000 signatures that have been already garnered.
Some kind of plan is going to be on the ballot in November, but of course the city, who is scared of it, is going to try to come up with their own plan, and that way they can squish out the citizens' plan. I was out a week ago with Laura Presley. They were all out last weekend, but I couldn't make it. Block walking and me just don't go too well
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah. Well, same thing here, So I've been finding family, my nephews or whatever, to come do my role because
I like where you can just sit at the table there, and but that's still going, and we're hoping that we can get it on the ballot and cut the city off from doing their version,
right.
which will be designed to keep them in office. I don't know what to say. We're just going to do what we can. We always are. But there's always room for more help.
Yeah, and as long as people stay away from the polls, we're going to be seeing things like Mr. Del Rio and other government neglect because, I work for a former elected official and his colleagues. That's one of the first things they would see when they had to make a decision on an issue. How many people voted in that neighborhood? Okay? And they would use that as a gauge because they knew that if it was a low turnout, well, their liability of being reelected chances weren't, weren't in any harm.
If you cheat laid down, it wasn't no big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. But don't do it in Travis High, and don't do it at Tarrytown where voters come out 1,500 in one day,
In one precinct.
in one precinct. This is just one precinct, so
Wow.
we really, that's why the 10-1 is a very, very good plan, geographic district. So you can have a representative that lives in your
We
neighborhood.
got 20 seconds. We appreciate
Okay.
Mr. Del Rio.
Del Rio,
We'll
thank
fix him
you.
up on this case. He will be going to court next Saturday. Come on down. You can either join me at the park if you can't walk that far. Just going out there and join in the parade. Everybody can. It'll be a lot of fun. And we'll see you next week. Same time, same station. JCI Thursday, 8 o'clock, 10.11. All right? Just, anyway. Oh, that's it. We go off when it says 58:30.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
How does it